Sinner sends a message to Alcaraz: if you don't want to, you don't play. Italian tennis star Jannik Sinner was the first big name of the ATP 500 tournament in Beijing to arrive in the Chinese capital. Sinner didn't compete in either the Davis Cup or the Laver Cup, and the US Open champion will return to the tour to defend his title in an Asian swing that continues with the ATP Masters 1000 in Shanghai. He shares both tournaments with Carlos Alcaraz, whose performance in New York was lower than expected. Alcaraz opted to compete in both the Davis Cup and the Laver Cup, where he notably warned that they're going to kill us, in reference to the demanding competition schedule, which he judged to be excessive. Sinner was asked about this and didn't entirely agree with the Spaniard. While he did acknowledge that the schedule is quite long, obviously, these years, he was quick to point out that players can still choose what to play and what not to play. He emphasized this choice: we have some mandatory events, it's true. But as a player, you can still choose. This year we have a packed calendar, there are many tournaments, but you don't have to play a tournament if you don't want to. If you want, you can play. If you don't play. His particular message was aimed not only at Alcaraz but at his fellow players in general. Sinner's perspective: last year, and this year as well, I didn't play certain tournaments because I wanted to train. We have options in this regard. He explained about how to lighten the schedule of commitments. The season is long, so sometimes it's not easy, he concluded. However, for him, the most important thing remains that players can still choose. That's what I think. Sinner also didn't participate in the Olympics, officially due to tonsillitis. He has played 60 singles matches this season, with a record of 55-5 across 12 tournaments. His biggest generational rival, Alcaraz, has played fewer matches, 52, 43-9, spread across 2 more tournaments, 14. One of their fortunate problems, which is common among top players, is that they accumulate matches due to their success in tournaments. I got a Clostebol massage like Sinner and received a 4-year ban. Tennis player Stefano Battaglino criticizes the disparity between his case and the world number ones. After Italian tennis player Jannik Sinner's double positive test for Clostebol, his case continues to spark reactions within the tennis world. Jannik Sinner became the focus of headlines, though not for reaching the top spot in the ATP rankings. The Italian tested positive twice for Clostebol, a substance banned in sports. However, he was exonerated of any responsibility. His team argued that the contamination came from his physiotherapist, who had applied the substance to a cut on his hand. An independent tribunal ruled that the athlete had no fault or negligence. The International Tennis Integrity Agency, ITIA, reported that there was no reason to doubt the Italian player. After a thorough and extensive investigation by the ISHA and Jannik, it was determined that the Clostebol contamination, the substance that triggered the positive test, came from his physiotherapist's treatment. His physical trainer had purchased the product, easily available in any Italian pharmacy, which was then given to Jannik's physiotherapist to treat a cut on his finger. Jannik knew nothing about this, and the physiotherapist was unaware that the product contained Clostebol. They communicated through Sinner's social media. Since then, many voices within the tennis community have spoken out about this case. Fellow Italian player Stefano Battaglino, who also tested positive for Clostebol in 2023, faced a different fate than the world number one. The Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, did not accept Battaglino's appeal, and he was handed a suspension. The CAS found the evidence provided by Battaglino insufficient. The independent tribunal determined that Battaglino did not demonstrate the source of the Clostebol and, therefore, concluded that the anti-doping violations were intentional. As such, the player was not eligible for any reduction from the presumed 4-year sanction. The 4-year ban took effect on February 1, 2023, and will run until January 31, 2027. During this time, the player is barred from participating in any ISHA events, including ATP, ITF, WTA, Tennis Australia, the French Tennis Federation, Wimbledon, and the United States Tennis Association. On September 14, 2022, at an M15 tournament in Morocco, Battaglino, 25, provided an in-competition urine sample that was found to contain Clostebol metabolites. Clostebol, an anabolic androgenic steroid, is banned at all times under Section S1 of the World Anti-Doping Agency prohibited list. As a non-specified substance, a Clostebol adverse analytical finding results in a mandatory provisional suspension. As such, Battaglino has been provisionally suspended since February 2023, the ISHA stated in a release. The player's complaint: the medication was the same, and the amount was minimal. But one gets nothing, and I get 4 years, the Italian said in an interview with Corriere della Sera. I'm happy for him and wish him all the success in the world, but I'm extremely disappointed. To the sport, I'm a pariah. I could play in a non-federated event, but at most, I've played a few paddle matches. In fact, I've changed my life since February 2023, when I was suspended. I now work at the family business, and I consider myself lucky, he explained. If you're not among the world's best and don't have a personal coach, you share one with 8 other athletes, as well as a physiotherapist. And then there are shared rooms with other players, night flights, shared taxis to the tournament. The contamination risks are many, he confessed. It bothers me to know that someone might think I'm a doper, meaning that I took substances to cheat. That's not the case, I never have. When I tell the whole story, everyone says it's crazy. When I first read about clostebol, I didn't even know what it was, he admitted. I've never taken anything, not even supplements. I fear the judges live in a beautiful world, made up of the US Open and Wimbledon, but have no idea what happens below that level, from the 250th ranked player onward, the tennis player explained. In those settings, anything goes, there's practically no control, from start to finish. To give you an example, it wasn't until the very end of the investigation, after countless unanswered messages from the tournament director, that they managed to locate the physiotherapist who might have accidentally contaminated me, he stated. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, because at Tennis Zone we are dedicated to bringing you the best information for the best audience, sharing in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and comprehensive coverage of everything related to the world of tennis. Join our community and be part of the excitement of the tournaments with us. Additionally, at Tennis Zone, we strive to provide you with up-to-date and high-quality content on the players, tournaments, strategies, and the most relevant events in global tennis.